What's up? My name's Jack Henry, and I used to get zero attention from women. Then I spent years studying attraction psychology and creating frameworks to achieve dating success. Now I do one-on-one coaching and make videos like these to help guys in the same situation that I was. In this video, I'll be breaking down a guy struggling with dating named Jason so that we can learn from his mistakes. I'll start by going over Jason's story. Then I'll audit his attraction trait index, which looks like this. Then I'll diagnose his biggest bottlenecks towards dating success. Then I'll create 3 personalized tasks that will help him more than anything. Alright, let's get started. Jason grew up with a pretty good childhood. He had the money he needed, he had support from his parents, he had decent social circles. But starting in middle school, he started developing an edgy humor style because it got him a lot of attention. I can relate to this. Like in middle school, I'd sit down at the lunch table and I'd just drop the craziest shit I could think of because people loved it, at least at the time. But as Jason got older and graduated high school, people weren't messing with the humor style anymore. People had matured, they didn't find the racist, sexist jokes funny anymore. In fact, people started finding him flat out uncomfortable to hang around. But there was never really enough social pushback for him to feel like he needed to stop because there were some people here and there that they messed with it. From Jason's perspective, everybody who was uncomfortable by his jokes were just snowflakes. They were soft and weak-minded, and so he wasn't even mad if he upset them, because they deserved to be upset. But from their perspective, he was just this weird, unsocialized guy who was just trying too hard. And Jason was especially having a hard time with women. There had not ever been a single woman who liked his humor. But once again, he just thought they were snowflakes. And before I audit his attraction trait index, I want to go over a few good things about Jason. For one, he could definitely work on his looks. Like, they're not that good. He's not a stunning Giga Chad, but like, they're all right. And with his self-image, he really has great confidence. You can tell he believes in himself. And while in this case, with his edginess, it can hurt him a little bit, in general, it's a good thing. And once we fix this whole edginess problem, I think it will really boost him up in terms of dating. Alright, so now moving into the attraction trait index. So what this is it's just a collection of traits that women find attractive. And if you're weak on these traits, women find you less attractive. And if you want dating success, you gotta level up these traits up to a high point. So starting with his entire looks category, I'd give him a 6 all up and down the board. Like I said earlier, he's decent looking. I mean, he could do some work, but that's not the biggest issue. Now moving down to warmth calibration, that's where things start getting tough. I'm giving him a 3 here, which is just an absolutely horrible score. He's always saying slurs, he's always saying some stuff about women, and he'll be saying it when women are in the room. Yeah, I mean, he gets a big reaction, but it's not a good one. His flirting is better than the warmth calibration. I'd put it at a 5, but it's still not good, and I think the warmth calibration is holding it back. His vocal tonality, I'd put that at an 8. He does have good control over his voice. And his eye contact's really good. I'd put that at a 9. And again at a 9 is a self-image. He really believes in himself, like I said earlier. And it hurts him a little bit here, but I think as soon as we fix this problem, like I said, it will be great for him. His leadership energy is going to be another weak one. I'm putting that at a 4. And it's because he doesn't have the warmth calibration to be able to read a group. Moving on to his standards, they're pretty good. I'd put that at an 8. Now we're moving into a couple more weak ones. Starting out with his reputation. His reputation has just been mauled by his edginess. I'm putting it at a 3. People do not want to be around this guy. They don't want to be seen around this guy. And they don't even want to give him a second chance. His lifestyle, I'm putting it at a 4 just because his room is so terribly messy. And his situation isn't that uncommon, but like he just has food everywhere. He has trash everywhere. His clothes are all over the floor. He needs to do laundry so bad. There's sticky stuff on all his surfaces. So that's going to hurt him a lot. And his emotional control, it's decent. I put it at a 6. I think if he had better emotion control, it could fix some of the other stuff. But I think we'll work on the other stuff first before we get to that. Alright, so this concludes the ATI audit. Now we're going to move into his greatest bottlenecks. Alright, so clearly one of his biggest bottlenecks is his reputation. Like I said, people just do not want to be around this guy because of repeated circumstances of him just being like flat out weird and uncomfortable. And this is due to bad warmth calibration. And you know, some of the other guys I make these videos on, it can be a little more complicated. But honestly with Jason, it's pretty clear that what's causing the warmth calibration problem is bad humor calibration. And now the usual fix to humor calibration is social exposure reps. So what I mean by this is usually if somebody doesn't have good humor style, they should go just spend a lot of time around people and naturally develop it. But clearly Jason hasn't been benefiting from the social feedback. So I'm gonna give him a couple other things to do for his tasks to fix this. I'll go into more detail during the task creation section, but right now what he needs is a mindset change and to really reflect and iterate. And his other biggest bottleneck, which isn't immediate, but I truly believe that as soon as he fixes this, it's gonna become a problem, and it's gonna be his independent living. The fix to his independent living problems, like his super messy room, really is just cleaning his room. But it comes down to more of a system than that. Usually if somebody has that messy of a room, they're struggling with other stuff in their life. And I don't just mean mental health wise. I mean just problem with executing on things they know they need to do. You know, I've always had ADHD. I've had many periods where I had a super messy room. You have to have a good goal setting. And goal setting here goes hand in hand with planning. So I'm gonna just put down good goal setting, but really it's just planning in this situation how to clean your room well, which I'll go over in the task section. All right, so these are the bottlenecks, and now we can move into the final section, which is task creation. Now for the first task, I'm gonna do a little bit of an unconventional one, and it's really just mindset change. His issue is that he thinks everybody's being a snowflake. He needs to realize that even if everybody is just being a snowflake and they shouldn't be reacting like this, that this is just how the social circles work. And he's not gonna get any social or dating success if he doesn't play by the rules. So for the first task, I'm just gonna put mindset change because I think it's just a big realization that he needs to have. All right, for task 2, I'm gonna have Jason go be social and then literally write down the things that people are laughing at. I want him to be very aware in these social situations of the things that people say that then the other people have positive responses to. Because it's one thing to just stop telling his edgy jokes, but it's another thing to actually be able to say jokes that are funny. Negative reinforcement obviously isn't working for him to change his humor style, but I think positive reinforcement will. So what I'm gonna call this is relearn humor. All right, now for the last task, I want him to apologize and state that he's gonna change to the social groups that he's been rejected from. He could go and make new social groups, but I bet the ones that he's been rejected from are all the ones that he has the easiest access to because he's already had access to them. So you can do this 2 ways. The first way is to apologize on social media. I think the best way to do this would be an Instagram story. Just make something being like, okay, I've recognized my behavior. I'm not gonna do these jokes anymore. I'm sorry if I offended. I wanna turn a new leaf. Don't say that exact thing because that's a little bit of a weird phrase. But yeah, something like that. Most of them probably don't think he's evil. He's just like unsocialized. And they realize that, okay, I don't want to be around this guy, but I kind of feel a little bit bad for him because he clearly doesn't understand how social situations work. They'll talk in their little groups of like, oh, did you see a story? Yeah. No, maybe he is. I don't know. Some people might want to give him a second chance. I really think they would. And the second option is to do this in person in smaller groups. The people that are okay with him making the jokes, but probably have friends that aren't, if he goes up to them and is like, okay, like I know I've always made these edgy jokes, but I don't want to do this anymore. And I understand that's messing me up. Like, I just want to say, like, I'm done with that. Then these people that he is friends with are going to tell the people that don't like him that he is this changed guy. And they're going to really believe that he's changing. And, you know, he can get access to those groups again. But you know what? I want to add a 4th task onto here. I'm going to replace the mindset change since I think that one's kind of just a one and done where he needs to have the realization. And I'm gonna replace it with cleaning his room. So I've had a couple clients who have had really messy rooms just like this, and I have a system for dealing with this. What you wanna do is clean it over a few sessions. In each session, you have a goal of making it 1 level cleaner. So the first step is cleaning up any food that could rot or could attract animals, just all the food out of the room. Doesn't matter if it's wrappers or if it's a full box that you could be eating out of. Get it out of the room. That's the first step. The next step is to throw away any of the rest of the trash. So any paper towels, any packages, empty your trash can, all that kind of stuff. Then the next session, you want to deal with all the clothing. So pick it all up off the floor, go do some laundry, but make sure that when you bring it back in, you're putting it away. Otherwise, you're gonna have the whole thing that I've dealt with so many years of my life where I wouldn't put my clothes away, which means the laundry basket was full, which means the clothes just go on the floor. The next session is where you deal with all the little random things around the room. It's kind of just organization. I'm talking everything that should be put in a drawer, put in another room, or honestly just thrown away, even if it's not broken, just because when are you ever gonna use this thing? Maybe the minimalist side of me showing a bit there. And for the last session, you're gonna wanna wipe down the surfaces. And then you're just gonna wanna reorganize anything else that like is out of place or that would look better over here. This is what I would do to fix where Jason's at. If you would do something else, comment below. I think honestly, this is kind of the only move you can do with Jason's situation, with his edginess problem. But I will revisit Jason in a future video, see where he's at, see what he can fix next once he's dealt with this problem. Hopefully he's dealt with the problem. If you like this kind of content, or if you want some true dating frameworks, subscribe, check out the channel. I'll see you next time.